In other news, we go back to the Vatican, where once again the Pope is in the news.
Why?
With everything going on in the world today, from wars to famines to racial strife,
That is true.
what is the number one thing on the Pope's agenda that will crack the planet in half if we don't stop it?
Do it.
You guessed it, kids. Climate change.
No!
Damn. I miss Pope Benedict.
Who?
He had balls.
How dare you!
I'm Jasper Gonzo, and this.
So shut up, bitch!
It's What's Next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jasper Gonzo, What's Next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today. Of course, it is Tuesday. With things going around the world, you know, wars, pestilence, racial strife, ignorance galore, stupidity galore. Of course, the whole knucklehead situation with Hamas and, of course, Hamas lovers, you know, disrupting college universities, commencement ceremonies, what have you, and so forth and so forth and so on. But with all that going on, what's the number one thing that the Pope, yes, Mr. Popey Francis himself, the King of Vatican, what is the number one thing on his agenda that if we don't stop it, the world is going to end in a fiery blaze? Take a guess. I'll wait. Climate change. Yes, I know. It's a secret, you know, not many people know. But climate change is going to crack the planet in half if we don't stop it. According to Pope Francis, we're on the brink of catastrophe. Yes. More like on the brink of stupidity, but anyway, that's just me. But here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Pope Francis, world nearing breaking point from a faux climate change. Yes, climate change. Of course, as we all know, climate change is racist. Anyway, Rome. Climate change has brought the world to the breaking point, Pope Francis asserted in his introduction to a 3-day climate summit to be held in Vatican in May. Is anybody going to attend? Oh, I'm sure the usual suspects. A firm believer in climate crisis, the pontiff wrote, he has heartfelt concerns for our suffering planet, contending that the world we live in is in collapse or collapsing. Who knows? Because of humanity's failure to adequately address this crisis. I'm about to cry right now. Anyway, it is undoubtable that the impact of climate change will increasingly prejudice the lives of families and many persons. He contends that adding the effects have already felt in areas of healthcare, source of employment, yes, employment, access to resources, housing, forced migrations, etc. Citing the bishops of the United States, the Pope asserts that climate change is one of the principal challenges facing society and the global community, and its effects are borne by the most vulnerable people, whether at home or around the world. Indeed, San Diego Bishop Robert McElroy, who Pope Francis elevated to the rank of cardinal in 22, has argued that while abortion is a great evil, we don't know, we're not sure, the long-term death toll from unchecked climate change is larger and threatens the very future of humanity. Yes, not wiping off millions of unborn babies, but the weather change. Okay. Both abortion and climate change are the core issues lives of climate change is a core issue in life in the Catholic Church. Okay. McElroy has declared, but neither should be identified as preeminent. Curious, Pope Francis singled out the United States as particularly responsible for the climate emergency because of irresponsible lifestyle of its citizens. Yes, let's just completely ignore China and India, attack the U.S. because why not? If we consider the emissions per if we consider the emissions per individual in the United States are about 2 times greater than those individuals living in China, I'm calling bullshit on that, and about 7 times greater than the average of the poorest countries, again, calling more bullshit. We can state that the broad change of irresponsible lifestyles connected to the Western model would have significant long-term impact, the Pope said last October. The alert folks at A Pillar Catholic, an online Catholic news outlet, pointing out at the time that the U.S. per capita emissions are less than 1.5 times that of China, adding that China's per capita emission levels are significantly higher than the global average. Yes, let's not call out facts. The hell with that. It's all about my feelings. The Pope also failed to mention that, in aggregate, China's emissions are more than double those of the U.S., America's air among the cleanest of any nation, while China's air quality is among the poorest. Again, More facts. Who knew? In his introduction to the Vatican Summit, which will be held May 15th through 17th, Francis states that climate change is no longer a secondary or ideological question, but as a drama to harm us all, adding that climate change manifests a tragic and striking example of structural sin. Oh, climate change is now a sin. Sure. I think God must have missed that memo. The ignorance just oozes all over this article. But I'm glad a Catholic news outlet came out and said, yeah, Popey, what do you think about fact A, B, and C? Pope Francis, your thoughts? I don't know what you talk about, son. It's my feelings. I feel that the climate change is going to destroy the planet. This is just levels of stupidity. I could say ignorance too, but it falls in stupidity. In my intro, I said, I miss the days of Pope Benedict. And I also miss the days of Pope John Paul, which I remember as a ute. Did you say utes? Yes. They talked about bigger issues, like I mentioned earlier, wars, racial strife, pestilence, famine, these issues. And the biggest thing was sin, the sin of man. That's what those two talked about the most. Pope Benedict was even more forceful than Pope John. Pope Benedict basically said, hey, you know what? This is what's going down. If you don't like it, suck on this. He was a man who had balls. Shame he didn't last longer as the pontiff. But Pope France, Pope Francie, Popey, socialist Pope, well, I'm just getting in line with all the virtue signaling and with all the box checking because, well, it's how I get paid. Pope Francis, does a Pope get paid? Does he get money? Oh, I'm sure he gets monies from somewhere. But again, that's just me. But there's your comedy story for the day, folks. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue to spread the word about the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.